Oh, sit down, everybody, and relax. Oh, you don't have any chairs. Okay, got it. Well, first of all, let me just say that it is an honor to be here today with all of you this morning to launch this service project, number one, and number two, to commemorate Veterans Day 2010. This is a day that I hold very dear, not only as an American, but also as an immigrant. Because when I grew up in Austria, we grew up after the Second World War in fear of not having enough food, in fear of the Soviets rolling in with their tanks and crushing Austria just like they did with Czechoslovakia and with Hungary. And the fear also to be caught in a crossfire, in a nuclear crossfire between the East and the West. But I also remember clearly that there was one place without that fear, a place where freedom's light would burn eternal. And that place was America, the greatest country in the world. Now I tell you that I dreamt my whole childhood about coming to America and being part of the greatest country in the world. Little did I know then that when I come over here, I'm going to go and meet this beautiful woman here, Maria Shriver, the First Lady of California, the greatest mother in the world, the greatest wife in the world. I had no idea then, but I came over here and I was received with open arms from this country. And like millions of other immigrants, this country gave me the opportunities and to experience freedom and to give me the opportunities to have a great bodybuilding career and a great acting career and to become the governor of the great state of California and to live the American dream. I treasure the liberty and opportunity that I found in this country. And even more, I treasure the people who protect this country. Because I'm very much aware that this didn't happen out of nowhere. The people worked for this. As each of you knows, America's freedom is not free. And the reason why this is the greatest country in the world is because people fought for it. For more than 200 years, it's been paid for in blood and in sacrifice by those who have worn our nation's uniform. Let us never forget that America is the land of the free only because it is the home of the brave. And I will never forget that. And this is why any opportunity that I have to say thank you to our troops, I do so. I've been traveling to bases all over the United States and all over the state of California and all over the world. As a matter of fact, I just came from a trade mission a few months ago to South Korea. And there I made sure that we put on our schedule a few hours aside so I can visit our troops, our brave men and women, and entertain them, tell them some jokes, pump them up, and say thank you for the great work that you're doing. And a few months before, I was in Iraq for the second time to visit our troops there. And they spent the whole night there working out during the night, taking pictures with them and schmoozing with them, having a good time with them, and also pumping them up and saying thank you to them. Or if it is Kosovo, Germany, Japan, or anywhere in the world, I've been visiting them to say thank you to them. And one of my favorite things that I do every year is when I go to Washington to visit the Walter Reed and the Bethesda Hospital, to visit our wounded men and women there, and to hang out with them and to talk to them. And it is amazing when you listen to those stories and the kind of sacrifices that they make. It is really outstanding, the bravery. I mean, when you hear from people, they have taken tour after tour after tour, and the things that they lose every time, they talk about losing their jobs when they come back. They talk about losing their homes when they come back. They talk about losing their families when they come back, losing their limbs, and sometimes even their lives. Too often our troops also bring back the enemy with them in their heads. We are seeing a lot of post-traumatic stress syndrome. The suicide rate is disturbingly high. We cannot continue to live in denial. We have to confront this Our men and women need help when they come back. We cannot look the other way. They need help. Here in California, we have more returning veterans than any other state. I just talked to our Joint Chiefs of Staff, Millen, about that. That this state is big. It's one of the most important state, and it sends the most people overseas. So therefore, we have the most veterans. So along with the federal government, our state has a special obligation to serve those who serve us. And I'm proud to work with the administration and what our administration alone has done over the last few years since I've come into office. We made it clear when I came into office and when I became governor that we will push and we will do everything that we can to reach out to our veterans. So we have invested more in veterans' homes than any other administration in the history of California. Thank you. I signed legislation establishing Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans Day. We fought to expand the CalVet Home Loan Program to all our veterans. We created the Honor Hero Hire Veterans Program, a job fair initiative. We approved new education benefits for our National Guard. And in January, we created Operation Welcome Home. California is now the first state to launch a campaign to connect every returning veteran to the benefits that they deserve. We have hired 300 veterans who are personally reaching out to those who are returning home. And to date, we have already contacted 30,000 veterans. And when we talk about contacting 30,000 veterans, we're talking about 3 times in 6 months. We call them and we are in touch with them to see what they need. And connecting them with job training, with education, with housing assistance, and with medical care and so on. However, government alone cannot do all of those things. And this is why whenever we feel that government cannot do all those things, we form partnerships. We reach out to the private sector, to the nonprofit sector, to work with the public sector. And we are so happy that employers came forward, nonprofits came forward, community leaders and communities came forward, and volunteers. And I'm so happy that yesterday I walked through an event for Honor Hero Hire Vet, an event where we reach out to them and help them connect to all of those various different programs. And I saw hundreds and hundreds of veterans there full of joy, knowing that they're going to get this service and they're going to be connected. And I want to say thank you to the volunteers and to Karen Baker, who is sitting here, our Secretary of Volunteerism, our first secretary in the nation, to organize hundreds of volunteers to reach out to our veterans. Let's give a big hand to those volunteers for the great work that they are doing also. Now, every year in November, and on November 11th, we pause to commemorate Veterans Day. The day we take this special day to say thank you to our veterans. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But every day of the year, we honor your action. Every day of the year, we honor your bravery. We honor your service. And we honor your sacrifice. We honor you. Because as far as I'm concerned, we should have every day Veterans Day. Every day we should be thanking of you, of the kind of great work that you've done, and for how many hundreds of years you've defended this country. So thank you very much, and God bless America.